Okay, today we're going to do Module 7, Lesson 24, and our objective is I can draw a line plot to represent measurement data. So let's take a look at what a line plot is. A line plot is another type of graph. Here we see one pictured. A line plot, if you look, has a number line on the bottom. You'll also notice that although the number line starts at 0, it stops and has 2 slashes, skips a couple numbers, and then goes from 3 to 8. We use the slashes to show that some numbers have been skipped. When you draw a line plot, you have to look at your data, and you use only the numbers that you need to. So we skipped a few because the smallest number on my information is 3. The largest is 8. And if you look at my line plot, the smallest number is 3, and it stops at 8. Those are the only numbers that I'm going to be using in the line plot. So today we're going to do a few different types of data. Let's take a look at our first data table. So it's called handspan. So these are the handspans. They're in inches. We have 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches, 6 inches, 7 inches, and 8 inches. And over here are the tally marks. The tally marks each represents a person with that handspan. If you notice, our line plot has already been labeled in inches. So each of my numbers represents an inch. So here's 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches, 6 inches, 7 inches, and 8 inches. Now we need to put a title on our line plots, just like we title our bar graphs and picture graphs. So I'm going to use handspan as the title of my graph. And I'm going to write that at the top. Now, in order to do a line plot, you use X's to show each tally mark. So for 3 inches, we had 2 tally marks. So I'm going to place 2 X's above the number 3. That represents, each X represents one person. For 4 inches, I have 5 tally marks. So I'm going to place 5 X's above the 4. So 3, 4, 5. For 5 inches, there are 5, 10, 11 people, so I'm going to place 11 X's. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then 6 inches, there are 7 people, so 7 X's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 inches, there are no tally marks, so I'm not going to draw any X's above 7. And then for 8 inches, we have 1 tally mark, so I'm going to draw 1 X. So now let's take a look at our line plot. You can very clearly see that 5 inches, that most people had a handspan of 5 inches. 4 inches and 6 inches were the second largest. So we can say that most people have a handspan between 4 and 6 inches from our data sheet. We can also clearly see that no one had 7 inches and that very few people, only one person, had an 8-inch handspan. So the line plot easily can show us multiple measurements of a certain thing. So now we're going to do a line plot together. You're going to draw your line plot in your notebook along with me. This is the data that we are going to use. So our data is going to be shoe measurements. So I'm going to start by putting my title, shoe measurements, at the top. And then on the bottom, I'm giving myself quite a bit of room. Down here, I'm going to start by drawing a number line. Now, if we look at our number line, the smallest number on our number line is 19. So remember, we're going to skip a few numbers to get to our smallest number, and then we're only going to count up to our largest number, which is 26. So when I draw my number line, I'm still going to start at 0, but then I'm going to draw just a little line. I'm going to break it by putting 2 lines, and then I'm going to draw the rest of the line. Now, after my break, my smallest number in my chart is going to be my first number. So I'm going to put a 19 there. And then I'm going to count by ones until I get to 26. 26 will be the last number on my line plots. So 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. So go ahead and draw your line plot in your notebook. Next, we need to label our line plot. We need to tell the people what our numbers are. So in this case, our numbers represent centimeters. So underneath my numbers, I'm going to write cm for centimeters. That tells us that that's what we measured in. Next, I'm going to plot the tally marks using X's. So 26 had 1 tally. So over 26, I'm going to put 1x. Next, I'm going to plot 20 centimeters. So 20 has 3 tally marks, so I'm going to place 3 x's over 20. 1, 2, 3. You are going to finish up the line plot on your own. You're going to graph 21 centimeters, 19 centimeters, and 22 centimeters. After you have finished completing your line plots, you are done with today's lesson.